Hey there, this is Daniel over at SPOTIO, and on today's Feature Spotlight video, we will be discussing sales rep basics on the mobile app. We'll be covering how you can navigate the mobile app in the field, how you can add and update leads, as well as how you can schedule appointments on our calendar. So let's go ahead and get started. You'll notice when you log in to the app, we have a schedule section where you can go to see and edit your appointments that you've scheduled for yourself. We also have a leads section along the bottom, which is where you'll go to update as well as add new leads into your account. For our pro users, we have a comms section where you can go to view your calls, texts, and emails. And then finally, we have a performance section where reps can go to view their metrics as well as see how they stack up with other users in the account. And if you hit the plus icon in the bottom center of your screen, you'll be able to add in leads and activities manually to your account. Finally, in the top left corner, we have a little silhouette of a person's head, and this is going to open up your profile settings where you can go to customize your settings, change your login info, and all of that good stuff. So for the first section we're going to be covering here today, I wanted to start with leads, and this is going to be where the majority of reps spend the majority of their time. As you'll see when you come into the leads section, by default, it'll show your current location in the app and basically place you at the buildings that you're needing to update. For today's example, I'm going to walk through how you can also adjust your layers. In the top corner, the square icon allows you to open up your different layer options to turn on things like Google Places, as well as change the type of map that you're looking at from a satellite to a standard map. So the first example I wanted to start with here today was how you can add a new lead in. So I'm going to zoom in on the SPOTIO office building, tap on the roof, and it's going to create a new lead as well as pull in a contact for us. The next step is to hit the yellow visit button at the bottom of the screen, and this is going to bring up your visit results. So inside of SPOTIO, we have what we call visit results, and these are basically exactly what they sound like. This is what's happening at the door or business when you're visiting the lead in the field. So for this particular example, I'm going to mark this as a contacted visit, and let's say I was able to speak with the business owner of the SPOTIO office building. For whatever reason, I'm now going to go in and update the status of this lead to one of our pipeline stages. This is going to basically be where this lead is now located in our sales process. So for this particular example, let's say I spoke with this business owner and was not able to move the deal forward. I'm now going to move that deal into lost, as well as put in the reason as to why I lost that lead. In addition to this, I'm going to put in some notes. For this example, I'm going to say that I spoke with Kay, who was the contact on the lead, and that they weren't interested in our business, so I moved it into lost for bad timing. After I go through that full process, it's going to save the lead on top of that building. You'll now notice the little red marker on top of the SPOTIO building, and it's basically now going to give us a full history under the details section here of what happened with that particular customer. So if I come in, I can actually look at the details, I can look at the history of when we logged that visit, as well as when we moved that lead into a lost status. So that's an example of a business. What I'm going to do now is zoom over to a residential neighborhood. A lot of our customers work door to door residentially with houses. So for this next example, I'm going to switch off the satellite map, putting on the standard map view, and actually knock a few doors in a residential neighborhood. So when you're knocking doors residentially, exact same process is what you'll need to follow. You'll basically just tap on the roof of the home to add the new lead. You'll then hit the visit button and put in your visit result. Now you'll notice if you put in a no answer option, by default the pipeline stage is going to be in prospecting, so there's no need to update the pipeline stage if you aren't speaking with somebody or needing to progress it through that sales process. So for the examples that I'm running here now, you'll notice that I've put in 3 no answers in a row, and since I was not able to move that lead through my pipeline, I'm basically just leaving it in that first prospecting stage. Now, let's say I am able to speak with somebody. Basically, we go through the exact same process of tapping on the roof. And since I'm putting in a different visit result at the door of contacted, that's basically going to mean that I'm going to need to update the pipeline stage to a different part of my process. So for this particular example, let's say I was able to schedule an appointment with this particular lead. I'm going to move it out of the prospecting status into appointment scheduled, and then I'm going to save that lead. The next piece I wanted to cover was how you can use SPOTIO's calendaring tool to schedule an appointment. So this is a completely separate process from the actual updating of a lead. You will click into the lead and actually hit the plus icon next to the activities bar. So right above where it says the visit button, there's a plus icon next to activities, and this is going to take you into our new activity page. So an activity can actually be anything that's going to be a follow-up activity, right? It doesn't always have to be an in-person appointment. It can be a call, text, email, or whatever you want it to be. For this particular example, I'm going to select appointment, and then I'm going to change the title of the activity. So you can basically come in here in this screen and completely customize what the title of this appointment will be when it appears on your calendar. So for this particular one, I'm going to call it Appointment to Inspect the Home. And then after that, what I'm going to do is turn on the option to select a start time. So this is if you have a specific date and time that you want to put the appointment for. For this particular example, I'm going to pick next Wednesday at 2 p.m. So all I'm going to do is select Wednesday, select the option for 2 p.m. And now I can see that I'm putting this follow-up appointment on my calendar for that date and time. You're also able to adjust the duration. So a lot of times you might want to, edit how long we're blocking off on our calendar. So I'm going to come in and select a 1 hour option. And then I'm also going to put some notes in. So the notes that you put in this section will appear whenever this appointment comes due on your calendar. So it can be used to give yourself some additional context or information as to what this appointment is for. So after I save the notes, as well as put in the date, time, and duration, I'm going to go ahead and hit that add button in the top right corner. And now what it's done is it's added this appointment to my calendar. And you can actually see the appointment inside of the lead itself, but this is also a good segue into our schedule section in the lower left-hand corner. So the schedule section will show you all appointments and activities that are due today, overdue, and then also give you this option to open up your calendar and select any particular day of the week. So here you can see my appointment with Kristen Sowers for next Wednesday at 2 p.m. I can click into that appointment and it directly links me back to that lead where I can see that upcoming appointment as well as mark it completed when that date and time comes. So you'll notice when I mark this appointment as completed, it'll actually remove it from my calendar and then complete that as an activity inside of my SPOTIO account. So now when I go back into my history with this particular lead, I can hit the history option and see that I have completed a previous appointment with that lead, as well as see the notes for that appointment. So now that we've walked through calendaring as well as how you can add and update leads, I did want to explain a few other controls and options we have here. We also have the ability at the top here to select your routes. We have a separate training video on how you can set those up. And then we have the ability to look at your leads in a list format. So notice inside of here, you can click into leads the same as we did from the map view, and basically just a different view type that we have separate from the map view. We also have several icons in the top right corner that you'll notice that can basically adjust and control the different options in your account. So the one in the very top right corner is going to be our filters icon, and this allows you to filter all of your leads in either the map or the list view. So for this particular example, I'm going to filter by prospecting no answer leads, and you'll notice that it actually removes the other leads from my account. Now, an important thing to point out here is a lot of times the filter icon might be turned on without you knowing. So it glows red in the top right corner whenever a filter is applied. And in order to reset the filter, you just tap back in and hit the reset button to adjust your view from the map view. In addition to that, I just wanted to point out how you can update fields of information. So I'm going to go in and actually mark this lead as 1. And inside of here, you'll notice we have a button that says Show All Fields. This is going to open up all of the custom fields of information for a particular lead and give you the ability to add additional information to those leads as needed. So for this particular example with Gregory, I'm going to add in an email for him and actually save that to his contact. And now you'll notice if I go in, I can actually reference that email or any other details that I add to that lead going forward. So a few final things to note is we also have a performance section inside of the app. This is going to show you all of your metrics for any particular time frame. So you can come in here to see exactly how many doors you've knocked, leads you visited, or updates that you've made. And this is just a great way to, basically show your progress throughout a particular time period inside of the app. And the last section I wanted to cover here today is going to be the silhouette of a person's head in the top left corner. And this is going to be your profile settings, so you can come into this section here to adjust things like your first name, last name, photo, time zone settings, things like that. You can also select a default home screen inside of here. So this is going to be the screen that the app boots up into whenever you log into the SPOTIO app. You're also able to adjust your notifications, so you can come in and play around with those. And then finally, we have 2 very important resources in here for getting additional information about SPOTIO if needed. So we have our knowledge base, which is a library of all of our different training content and recorded resources. So very, very useful stuff if you're ever wanting to learn more more about any particular aspect of the app. And then finally, we have our chat with support option. So this is a live support chat that all users have access to. And you can see here in this example, I'm basically just chatting in that I need some help. Our support team does have it between a 1 to 5 minute response time for any incoming chats for all users. So if you ever have any issues or questions while you're out in the field, definitely feel free to take advantage of that support chat. They'll be happy to assist you or help troubleshoot any issues or questions as you're out there using the app. So that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate your time, and hopefully this gets you up to speed on some of the sales rep basics inside of SPOTIO. Please be on the lookout for other feature spotlight videos that we offer, going over some more detailed looks into other features, and we look forward to talking with you guys again soon.